are going to be working on multiplying a decimal by a decimal today. We started that in class with our model, so you know what it looks like, and now we're going to add some mixed numbers in on the mix. If you look, what you should have is your guided notes in front of you that you got ready in math today. They have the steps on them, and you should have a flare marker or a pencil to be taking your notes in. And it's going to be a short lesson. If you'll notice, I don't have my timer here today because it's going to be that short, but I do have my cup of coffee. All right, let's look at the steps. Step 1, line up the problem vertically. You're used to that. Please, 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 you might want to put a note. Put the problem or put the number with the most digits on top, even if it's the smaller number. Put the number with the most digits on top. Now, if you'll notice here, the second step, we're going to move estimating to the second step because you really want to think as soon as your answer's done, is it reasonable? So we're going to work on that second. 3, you're going to multiply like there's no decimals whatsoever in the problem. 4, you're going to figure out the place value you need your answer to go out to. You have to look at both factors. Underline that sentence. Look at both factors. You can't just look at one anymore. 5, place your decimal point, and you might need to add zeros close to the decimal to hold the place value. I think that's going to happen in this one. I'm not sure. We'll find out. And 6, compare to your estimate to see if your product is reasonable. That's what we're going to estimate first. So if you look at your example, your first problem is 28 hundredths times 2 hundredths. Now, we worked at drawing these today. We did a visual model, and you know that this is going to end up being a very small number. So if I'm going to estimate this, I'm going to estimate it at about 3/10 times about 2 hundredths. 3 times 2 is 6. That's going to give me about 6 hundredths. It's going to be an awfully small number. Let's see if my estimate comes close to fruition. All right, so I lined it up vertically. I estimated. Now I'm going to multiply like there is absolutely no decimal. 2 times 8 is 16. Put the 1 up here. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. My answer is 56. That's not even close to 6 hundredths, so let's see what I have to do. I'm on step 4. I have to figure out the place value you need that your answer goes out to. And I have to look at both factors. So I'm going to think tenths, hundredths, thousands, 10 thousandths. I've got 4 numbers behind my decimal, which goes out to the 10 thousandths place, which means when I multiply them, my product has to go out to the 10 thousandths place. Well, if you look, if I were to put a decimal right here, I would only be going out to the hundredths place. If I were to annex the zeros on the end, I would simply be writing an equivalent decimal, and I would still have 56 hundredths, which is nowhere close to 6 hundredths. So I have to think, I need 2 more zeros. Well, to hold place value, I have to put them on the side closest to the decimal. And now if you look, I go out the tenths, hundredths, thousands, 10 thousandths place, just like my factors are telling me to. Tenths, hundredths, thousands, 10 thousandths, which gives me an answer of 56 10 thousandths, and it makes me realize, holy cow, I'm so embarrassed I did my estimate wrong. Because if you look at my estimate, tenths, hundredths, thousands, and I only went out to the hundredths, so I forgot to annex that 0. That's embarrassing. Be careful not to make careless errors like I just did. If I look, 56 10 thousandths is very close to 6 thousandths. I'm going to do the second one. I'm going to see if I can do a little bit better on this one. I'm going to go back through the steps again, and let's hope I don't make a careless error. I lined up the problem vertically. I have 3 and 47 hundredths times 7 and 3 tenths. Now notice 7 and 3 tenths is the bigger number. 7 is greater than 3, but 3 and 47 hundredths has more digits in it, so I put that on top. All right, then I'm going to estimate. Well, 3 and 47 hundredths I'm going to estimate to about 3, and 7 and 3 hundredths I'm going to estimate to about 7. And if you look, my answer should be somewhere around 21. Let's hope I didn't make a stupid mistake. Now I'm going to multiply like there is no decimal. 3 times 7 is 21. Carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. I am done with the 10th place value, and that's my smallest place value of my bottom vector, so I'm going to cross and drop. So I don't use that place value line anymore, the place value space. 7, and I'm going to cross these out so I don't get mixed up. 7 times 7 is 49. Write down the 9, carry the 4. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 4, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 is 32. And 7 times 3 is 21, plus 3 is 24. I'm going to add, carry my 1. All right. And I have 25,331. I'm not done yet, am I? Because that's not even close to 21. I'm on step 4. I need to figure out the place value that my answer needs to go to. Well, if you look, I have tenths, 2, 3, so tenths, hundredths, thousands, which means that my decimal place value has to go out to thousands. I'm going to start here on the right side of the number and make 3 lines because that'll give me tenths, hundredths, thousands, and place my decimal right here. Now if you look, 25 is pretty close to 21. It's a little bit bigger than 21, but since I kind of estimated these low, that looks like it would be about right. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now if you look on your paper, you've got 45 and 1/10 times 34 hundredths. You've got 16 times 215 thousandths. And you've got 4 and 303 hundredths times 7 hundredths. That last one is going to be tricky on the decimal placement. You probably are going to have to add some zeros like we did to this one. Remember when you annex zeros, you're not changing the value of the number. You're putting them away from the decimal. When you're adding zeros for place value, they have to go closer to the decimal. So don't mix that up. Good luck. Do your homework. I'll see you tomorrow.